yeah, so I got some of mine. It's very dark. So my favorite is different. It's like really quite. Actually, we can change the framing.
Hello everyone, we are
JJMS! Welcome to Story. I don't know why I talk.
Okay, welcome to Still 14, where we talk about anything and everything that makes us feel like we're still 14.
Yay!
So, what is it that makes us still feel 14?
I think it's from me. I think we're going from hello.
Okay, camera rolling and I can start, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for today's episode, we are going to talk about this drama that we can't stop talking about, which is
I Told Sunset About You.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't watched I Told Sunset About You, it's basically a Thai BL series about two best friends who fell out during their younger years, right? Then after that, they reunited in a language class when they were in high school, and how they started to like relearn their friendship, and because it sort of got developed into something that is deeper than what before they realized it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But also another thing is that this series has actually not. So the main series has 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Part 1, and then there's also part 2, which we'll talk about in another episode. Stay tuned. And then there is also the documentary for each series, part 1 and part 2. So I think that documentary actually helped us to understand a lot of things and see what is actually goes on and like appreciate it even more. Actually.
But I think it's also like P-Boss, I think he already worked with them like previously before I Told Sunset About You in this other series called My Ambulance. So I think they kind of really have like a relationship already, and I mean he's the one that started BKPP project. Yeah, so I think he really believed in them. So
and also in real life, BKPP is like best friends. We were like very good friends. They grew up together. So I think the difference that like comparing it with other
Actors,
other shows or dramas or series or like boys love kind of, it's actually their chemistry and how they can actually very well bond
draw you in to their
but they don't
story.
give fan service, so you know in real life it's not like they purposely.
But then it makes
like,
you want more.
No, then you compare it with like Milgolf, it's like, you know, it's like they're constantly like, it's like you pow you know, that kind. It's like, and then you just feel like you will just squeal behind that kind of, right? But the thing is like BKPP is so real. It's like they don't want to do it, and they don't want to do it, right? And they just don't.
But yet you still.
Yeah.
But they're very natural lah. Just like.
I think the thing is that like they did the series, then they released the documentary, right? So when they did the series was so well done. When they released the documentary, they made you appreciate it more. A glimpse of like what they are like in real life. So it's not fan service, but you can see how like, you know, between each characters. I mean like BKPP of course, but like you can even see like between like like Bas. Yeah, between like
the older brother
Tae, Tae and his older brother Tae and Tan, like the way that they interact like off camera is like it's so genuine, and then like it makes you just feel like, oh, like, you know, like I want to be a part of that, or like it's so satisfying to watch, right?
Unlike any romantic series or dramas, right, the sets are usually very standard, which is like the hotel or like school or room.
It's very like intentionally designed, like every prop, every like placement, every setting where they have any like a specific conversation, like everything is like symbolic. They go to Tae's house and they're eating like the Hokkien mee on the rooftop. So that's the first scene where they reconcile, right? And then in episode 5, when like Tae breaks down to his brother because he feels that
he lost everything.
He lost everything, and the guy that he likes doesn't like him anymore. It's on that very same rooftop, but the way that it's designed is a completely different. Like it's raining and it's dark. There's like no light, and then it's like so different from like what you see in episode 1. So I think like that's just one small example of like what like the little details that makes it so, you know, like
It's cute, the tears.
Their little gestures to each other when they interact, right, it's like very choreographed, you know. It's almost like a theatrical production. Yeah, so it's like that's why I say it's like a work of art.
And I think the lyrics also, they really take part in like some of the part like of the lyrics. They take from some interview, and then like the scriptwriter decided to like add it into like the music.
So there's a connection between the Thai language and the Chinese language, and that's how like they basically make the soundtrack like very, very, very closely connected to the story itself. And then there's another song called แปลไม่ออก
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 can't translate.
Yeah, and it's about basically like being unable to express like what you feel inside. Like, and this is like an exact kind of reflection of the main character Tae's struggle to like come to terms with his
Fears of being judged.
because of the story is like connected to like the two main characters learning Chinese, right? So they use like Chinese like phrases or like idioms to like bookmark like key things in the show.
So what else do y'all like about it? I like the director, who is also he's so if you guys don't know, the director who is also known as P-Boss. What makes him different from other directors? Okay, so you know how like normal directors, it's one thing to be like professional and nice on set and like courteous to everyone, but he's like different in the sense that you can tell from like the documentary and like the BTS that he is someone who is truly like there for the cast. Like when they do like an emotional scene and then the cast, the male leads really like cry and like struggle from the crying, he will like I don't know if he rushes to them, but he will just straight away go to them and like be there to hug them. Do directors usually do that? I don't think so, right? Yeah. So we're gonna like share about our favorite scenes. So
Favorite scene!
yes. So my favorite scene is in episode 3, where they basically it's the beach scene where they like flirt with each other. So OL picks up the flower and puts it on Big Tae's mouth.
Yeah.
Mouth. And then
Over the head,
Yeah.
and then they just start flirting. So basically Tae takes it off his mouth and puts it on OL's mouth, and then OL after that take it again, and then no, it dropped, and then he
kissing.
yeah. Then after he take it and he puts it on Tae. But the way he puts it on Tae is like, it's not just like the stare at you and then put at you. It's like he put his arm around. So it's like very sweet. So I I just felt like at that point, right, they were very sinful, you know.
No, because I mentioned my one was the
The
scene at the cave,
Yeah.
which they translated the
Skyline.
Skyline, the Chinese version, and so OL was reciting the Chinese lyrics and then asking they what does it mean. So I think that one was it was not a very like exciting scene, but it's just very normal, but it's very meaningful.
No, but it hits you hard.
I think that scene hits you hard because it's so quiet. It's a very quiet scene. So they don't even play like the instrumental at the back. Like it's quiet, and then like Tae's just like reading like saying each line, and then he's just like translating it line by line. So it's very quiet, and then it's like because it's so quiet, like you are like as the audience are forced to listen to like what the words really mean. Yeah.
And also it's really up to the two actors to like portray the whole thing with the emotions that is like so. I feel it's very raw lah, cause like it's very like
because it's quiet. There's like
nothing
no,
else.
They can't rely on any effect or like any soundtrack to move the audience, and yet they manage to.
It's really
So it's
实力,
like
which is 实力.
and also the lyrics. Is
Power, it's talent.
To be able to do
Yeah.
that lah, even though they're so young. Both of them are very young.
And also I feel like that set, the sun is like setting, right?
Yeah.
So it's like slowly getting like
Darker.
darker and darker. Then you just like you very
Feel the darkness.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just very 投入. And then cause it's not really sad. It's like you hear the lyrics is not is sad, right? It's a very
Yeah.
it's
Is it sad? I feel like it's sweet.
It's sad.
It's
It's
kind
like
of
bittersweet.
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 Yeah,
bittersweet,
yeah,
bittersweet.
yeah. So then I feel like the sunset is like, you know, 你慢慢 like it's just slowly, you know, becoming darker, and then you just like watch, and then you just like, yeah, you just like go into, you know, like yeah.
So I guess
it's like
my
we
favorite
suck
scene is
into it.
everybody's favorite scene now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I think it's just one of our favorites.
No,
right?
but there's too many already.
Yeah,
so
there's
it's
been
really
a
very
lot. Yeah, it's too hard to
pick.
choose,
Okay,
but-
so moving on.
Yeah,
to-
so my favorite scene is the Chinese New Year scene. Okay, so I really like that scene is because I
the
think
rain
number
outside
one,
is,
right?
helping us with the
Yeah,
Talking
gloomy.
well.
Yeah, number one, I
See,
think
I
that whole scene, there were no lines. Okay, as in like nobody said anything. Okay, so it's really just acting purely like it's either
Body language.
Yeah, eyes through the eyes. You're acting through your body language, and then you know it's like it's just really talent. I feel it's very hard. Yeah. Yeah, and the song also, yeah. So the pianist actually played Skyline also, right? So Skyline was being played, and then once the pianist played Skyline, I think O was actually holding Ba's hand, but while holding his hand, he cried. So it's like the song, like I think Cui, like you know it cue like tears, and then he suddenly got remembered, like he got reminded, like oh, you know, he missed like Day, you know what I mean? Like it's just like, oh my god, it's like a song that they have so much memories together, you know. I think that's one part. And then Tay was behind the piano, and he told his friends that he wanted to be alone, right? So he just hid behind. And then the thing is, they placed the oil, the dessert beside him. So yeah, I mean that's
Symbolic
what,
of
yeah,
him.
yeah, correct. So it's very intentional in the way that it's there, right? But I mean he didn't eat it, but I guess maybe he just ordered it and it's just there, right? So
It's meant to represent.
yeah, like represent
Like
the
what he
person.
wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's like he cannot get the person because he felt like he really lost it
Lost
because
it, yeah.
O is together with Bas. So it's like I think maybe to him it's like to me I always feel like 拥有是 like 失去的开始 but he never even 拥有 he 失去了 so I just feel like it's even more sad, yeah, like for him. And then like right after that scene he went home and he packed his things, and then he like took like 2 pieces of paper, right, and he smelled the paper, and that paper is like
coconut
the
sand.
yeah, the coconut sand. So like all this is like no words, like it's really just through action, and that's why I felt like it was more impactful. Yeah, and that's why I think that's my favorite scene.
Nice.
Yeah,
I guess now you can tell a story, Mars.
yeah, she'll tell us every episode about
You
which
can talk
one.
about the whole
Yeah,
episode.
the whole episode.
No, I think for me, like overall, like the whole series, I think we follow Tay more. Like I think the director, like he tells the story a little bit more through Tay, right? Like so from the beginning, it's like Tay is the one narrating, and then like we are taken on a ride with him, but at the same time, like the director makes it so obvious, like everything that they cannot see, that the audience can see, and everybody around can see, but he cannot see. So I think that's the, you know, like the scene that Jia was talking about the Chinese New Year scene, right? It's shot so nicely, like where you have like O at the back, and then the pianist, and then there's like obviously like a huge distance between them, and then there's Tay who is alone, and he like what he wants is obviously like within reach, but he cannot express it. He cannot fight for it. Like he doesn't know like what to do about it, that kind of thing. And like we see it, like so that's like kind of like the last time we see his struggle, but actually right from the beginning, like we see it like so many times. Like there's so many times where he basically like says something, but he does something that like is the complete opposite. And I think that's like the most like why it's so impactful, right, is because that's like what growing up is about, right? Like you don't really know what is happening all the time, but like you're also in the age where like you feel a lot of things, and then like you might not know like how to express it, so you express it through anger. So Tay expresses a lot of it through anger, or like he expresses a lot of it through like kind of like rejecting things, or like saying no to things that he actually wants, but he doesn't know what it is. Yeah, so then he has to kind of suffer the consequences of it. Yeah, and that's really like, to me, that's like the biggest thing about like coming of age, right? Like is like having to like kind of learn your lessons. In the beginning of the series, the the director basically establishes that Tae like wants to live up to like who his brother is, but at the same time the drama is so, it's like so textured, right? Like nobody is like good and bad, you know, everybody is like a little bit of both, everybody is like a bit kind of textured, so it's like you don't feel any hatred towards the brother, even though like he kind of is in a way like pitted against Tae.
And I think that scene, the mom like came back and said, "Oh, my 2 sons are back," and then she's like so happy. So beginning he talks about how like BK is like, you know, he's gonna get through the direct animation and then he's gonna do very well and everything. But then end up the mother ended off the note with I need to celebrate the brother also, because now the brother is like earning the money for the family.
Like this, he's like playing the role of the father.
Correct. Like you're playing the role of the father. So that scene then suddenly BK is a bit like down. You can see him like actually maybe beginning is like, my mother like 夸我, but then like, you know, like you praise me, and then at the end you end off with like, I'm celebrating my brother.
I have to
instead.
share the thunder with him. You know?
It's like okay, so like it's not all about him already. So then at that point you also feel like, oh, I'm being compared with my brother. Yeah, at that point. So I think he also feels, so from that I think that's a start. Then I think all along he also still feels like, I'm always being compared to my brother. I'm good at something but my brother is always better. Yeah, and then I think towards the end, at the rooftop scene, is he starts to feel like, okay, yeah, my brother
I can
is
lean
no
on
longer-
him.
yeah.
Like he's not my competition,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like and he will always like support me. Like even if I'm not like him or like you know,
yeah.
So it's so nice.
If you have siblings, you will feel.
Yeah, if you have siblings, you will
Yeah.
understand.
Wow.
Because with your like what you the way like your relationship between your siblings, like when you are like very young and then as you are like in teenagehood, like starts to change and it's quite drastic. Yeah,
It's actually really very drastic. Like from young all the way until now actually.
yeah.
The change is very, very big.
Shout out to our siblings. Okay, so
Okay.
that wraps up episode 1 of Still 14.
It's a wrap.
Hashtag I thought something about you. Hashtag part 1.
If you
Hashtag BKPP. Hashtag TO.
Also hashtag it's
TO.
safe. Yeah.
Hashtag Nadao dancing.
Yeah.
Hashtag Nadao Bangkok.
Hashtag thank you P-Boss for making this wonderful show.
Love it.
Okay, so if you haven't watched I Told Sunset About You, we are not sponsored to do this. We just really like the
Wanna
show.
talk about it.
So if you haven't watched it, please watch it. And if you have watched it, we are very excited to talk to you. So
About it.
please leave your comments, and we're very happy to meet more people who love the drama.
As much as we do. And love them.
Okay,
BKPP.
well done.
Please like and subscribe.
Please
And
support.
开启你的小铃铛。
Yeah, please support our family. Okay, so Sam is gonna tell us what's gonna happen for episode 2.
How I know?
Okay, Jia is gonna tell us what's happening for
So
episode 2.
episode 2 we're gonna talk about I Promise You the Moon.
Okay, continue. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Hello,
everyone. Welcome to.
Sorry.
I thought it was we 3. Hello everyone. We are JJMS.
Everybody say together.
You never say right. You never move. Okay. Continue. Not it. 1, 2, 3. Hello everyone. We are JJ.
And
Rolling.
action!
Sorry.